Hi, I was just reading A Wrinkle in Time. Well, the Disney version, not the original, because I don't have that one. So, hey guys, Brady here, and you may be wondering, is this a new setting? No, this is not permanent. I'm just trying this something new here. And you may have seen me do this in my Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy Part 3 review. Yeah. So, today, we're going to be starting my Mario 3D marathon. I don't know if I'm going to do 2D, but it sure is going to be a good time, hopefully. So, we're going to be tackling all the Mario 3D games. And yes, I am including Mario's, the game we're reviewing today. I'm counting Mario Sunshine, I'm counting Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, I'm counting 3D Land, 3D World, and I don't know about Odyssey. I may redo Odyssey for the newer generation of people on this channel. I don't know. But I already did a Mario Odyssey review, so that's probably gonna work out perfectly, isn't it? Alright, so it was 1996. Super Nintendo, done for. Sega Genesis, already done for. It's already had its last few years, and with the 96 coming up, we had 3 consoles that had 3D capability. We had the Sega Saturn, which is defunct and garbage, the PlayStation, and of course the Nintendo 64. So what do they do to launch the Nintendo 64? They make a 3D Mario game, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Today, the review is Super Mario 64. And everybody's done, just want to clarify, everyone's done this already, guys. I wanted to give you my impact on it and see if there's some stuff to critique about it. So, here, without further ado, let's do it. Releasing in 1996, this game was incredible, actually. It was Mario's very first 3D game, so you could expect a lot of fixer-upping to do. Yeah, this game definitely could use a fixer-upper, but it's still perfect for everybody. There's been mod packs for this game, there's been HD textures, there's also been character mods, Mario 64 Online, and of course, we can't forget about the illustrious SMG4, who still uses models from that game to this day. But let's talk about the story, shall we? The story is Mario. For those of you who don't know, the classic Mario plot, it's Mario and Princess. They get separated. Mario goes to save him. Done. That's the entire premise. But let's talk about the gameplay. The gameplay is the very first 3D game to actually include an analog controls. Well, if you count the PlayStation. The PlayStation had no analog stick when it first came out. Sadly, for most of you who don't know the PlayStation, then maybe I should do a PlayStation review. I don't know that much about the PS1. Maybe I could get the PlayStation Classic someday. I don't know. But I heard it was garbage. So let us talk about the gameplay of Mario 64. It is as simple as you could possibly get. Being replicated countless times in every Mario game. Like of course, you got Mario Galaxy, Sunshine, and Odyssey. Not 3D Land and World, because those are original. And there's, of course, you have the jump, the running, the triple jump, the dive, the side jump, the backflip, the long jump, the break dance, or the Super Smash Bros. Down smash, which is what I would call it. And of course, you have power-ups, naturally. Only two power-ups, actually. Well, if you count the bouncy box and shifting sandland, I don't know if you would count that. Oh wait, I forgot to mention the worlds. There is a ton of worlds. I'm only gonna name a few. We got Bomb Bomb Battlefield, Womp's Fortress, Cool Mountain, Lethal Lava Land, Shifting Sand Land, that one cavern land. Wait, hold up. Tick-Tock Clock. And yes, Tick-Tock Clock did not get its start in Mario Kart. It got its start here. And yeah. And there's been a conspiracy going around about, is Luigi playable in Mario 64? Well, the answer is no. And yes at the same time. No, because he's not playable in the N64 version, and yes, because he's playable in the DS remastering of the same name, along with Wario and Yoshi, which caused another controversy of what if Waluigi was playable in the game. For the DS version, that is. But, the graphics design, polygonal, perfect for me, but yeah, people still prefer this over stuff like, Breath of the Wild. They prefer this. They prefer this over the graphics scene, over the CG and all that seen in a movie like Food Fight. That is true stuff right there. So, how about the final battle? No, the boss battles. Let's do the boss battles. We have a few boss battles, to be exact. We have King Bob-omb. We have King Womp. There's a lot of kings in this game, trust me. And so on and so forth. And every time you complete a level, you get these things called Power Stars. Well, just stars in this game. Power Stars is what Mario Galaxy calls it, but there's a lot of stories that you could pass on with, and yes, there are a lot of levels for each world. That's why people call it an overworld sandbox game. Alright. So, time for the final boss. The final boss is Bowser, of course. And you all know what Bowser does. He spits fire. He does the Bowser bomb like he does in Smash Brothers. So on and so forth. Mario whips his tail going, "So long, gay Bowser." That's a meme that everybody's been creating. "So long, gay Bowser." That's so stupid. But that's what he says. I don't know. Mario's got a weird language. Because he's Italian. Alright, so Mario takes him out. He grabs the wing cap, which is one of the power-ups in this game, along with the metal cap, and flies away to Peach. And then Peach says, "Mario, how were the stars restored to the castle?" And the birds go, "Yes." They go, "Weep, weep, 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 weep." And of course, Mario gets that sweet cake that he's been wanting for the entire game, and says, "Thank you so much for playing my game." Well, you're welcome, Mario. You said that many times in your games. Thank you. So overall, this game is just a masterpiece in the making, which is why I'm giving it not a perfect 10, but just a 9 out of 10. For it being Mario's very first 3D outing, having great control, and having having analog stick control, and having many, many, many worlds for you to explore, many stars to collect, many stuff that you could do, and of course, there's mod packs, like games that, reinvent the entirety of Mario 64's whole, you got like Mario 64 Last Impact, Mario 64 Star Road, Mario 64 Land, Mario 64 The Green Stars, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. These are real mod packs. I would recommend you go pick them up because they all look incredible. Especially Mario 64, Star Road, Last Impact, and Land. Those are the more popular ones. So, this is Sunshine for the Nintendo GameCube, releasing in 2002. So, what's the story? The story, Mario and crew, Mario, Peach, and Toadsworth, a new character, Toadsworth, who has been a lifetime Mario character ever since Mario Super Sluggers. Just kidding. And yeah, so they're like, "Welcome to the Sunrise Tropical Paradise of El Delfino." And they introduce some of the worlds that you get to visit, like, well, just stilts and pictures. That's it. And of course, succulent seafood. That's literally what they say. And then Mario is just mind controlled by the food, and then you see Toadsworth like, I just want to be an old man and relax. And so they enter the Isle of Dolphin Shape. I don't know. It's literally a dolphin shaped island. And then instantly at the first level you get Flood, another new character, which you will be using for most of this Universal game. Alright, so the gameplay, it's exactly like Mario 64. If you are familiar with Mario 64, it's basically Mario 64, but with the GameCube controller. That's it. That's all you gotta know, guys. Just Mario 64, but with GameCube controls. And of course, there's different modules and nozzles for Flood. You got the normal one, you got the jetpack, and you got the rocket nozzle and the speed nozzle, which makes you run at super speeds. And of course, and Yoshi is in this game too, but not how you may think he is. He can also act like Flood, except he spit fruit juice out of his mouth. Now that is disgusting. How about the game design? It's actually kind of simple. Wow, this is a really short part. I'm just saying right now. So far I'm like 2 minutes into this, but anyways, so we also get introduced to Shadow Mario, which we realize is Bowser Jr., another quote-unquote new character. We've seen Bowser Jr. before as Baby Bowser in Yoshi's Island. However, he is finally here in full as Bowser Jr., and he's been in the series ever since this game. Naturally. So there's this thing going around in the town saying, "Hey, Mario's causing trouble." This is kind of the plot to the Inspector Gadget movie. But basically, Bowser is like, "I want to make a clone of Mario. So I'm going to send up my son and make him cause trouble as Mario." Then. And so Mario goes to jail. Oof, that's very harsh. So he's basically became an outlaw on his first day of vacation. And so he's setting out to find all the Shine Sprites, which are the new collectibles, believe it or not. And I believe it was like 120. I don't know. Same thing could be said for Mario 64. There was 120 stars in that game, and then there's 120 Shine Sprites. The bosses are kind of cheap and easy, but I mean, there's new ones too. You got like King Boo making his second appearance, actually. He was in Luigi's Mansion, and then he comes into Sunshine thinking, "Hey, I'm gonna be same design." He looks freaking weird. He's got like this long tongue. It's like weird eyes. He looks incredibly weird and bad. But then we got Petey Piranha, another new character. Wow, there's so many new characters. Woof. Wowza. And he's still kind of referenced in most Mario games to this day. He's referenced in Mario Sluggers, Mario Golf, sometimes. And of course, his most recent appearance in Color Splash, Paper Mario Color Splash. I wouldn't recommend playing that game because it's cheap as frick. And then of course, you got the giant wiggler that's like stomping around at the beach place. There's a lot of locations like Bianco Hills, Rico Harbor. That's it. I don't know the other ones. But luckily you will, since you guys played this within your childhood. I still have this game to this day. So, how about we get to the final boss? But you're maybe wondering, final boss already? Well, not yet. I have to mention one important part that will change this game for the rest of its life. It's not Flood. It's not the overwhelming amount of new characters. It's the voice acting. Normally you don't see voice acting in Mario games, but here they're like, I'm most concerned in the meaning of the princess in this dreadful heat. Master Mario, would you go find some assistance? That's at the beginning of the game. And the voice acting continuously gets weirder and weirder. Like, even Bowser has a voice. Bowser. Mario, how dare you destroy my family vacation? And then Bowser Jr. sounds like he does in the other games. Oh my god, the voice acting is funny. But on to the final boss. Mario comes up to Bowser's hot tub? I don't know. And so Bowser Jr., Bowser, and Peach are giving us a long monologue before Bowser fights Mario. So Bowser beats up Mario. No, Bowser gets beaten up by Mario. And so we enter the funniest part, I think, of the game. Bowser is like, Junior, I need to tell you something about Peach. And then Bowser Jr. is like,
I know, he's really not my mom. She's really not my mama. But one day, when I'm big enough, I'm gonna catch that Mario on my own.
and then he's like, that's good, son. But for now, let's just rest for a while. Ending Mario Sunshine. So overall, for me, this game is okay. It's not as good as Mario 64, but it is a GameCube classic, which is why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 for it having freaking voice acting, an overwhelming amount of new characters and bosses to include, and Flood being the new core mechanic. Now, on to the next part. So, Galaxy was released in 2007, which is the same year that my brother was born. The story here, it's the exact same story in Super Mario 64. Mario goes to get a cake, but Peach gets captured, and so Mario's got to go on a whirlwinding adventure to find her. The gameplay is actually somewhat on the lines of new stuff, you know. There's no dive, so you can't do that anymore. This time around, Galaxy has somewhat of a weird feel to it. Like, of course, you have shake the Wii remote and you get a star spin. That's one of the newer mechanics, and you use that mechanic for most of the game. Galaxy is pretty long if you think about it. Over 120 stars, and yes, the power stars are back, everybody. So, there's that. Enough said on that. But, how about the power-ups? Let's talk about the power-ups, because there are power-ups this time. And it's not Metal Cap or Wing Cap. New power-ups. You have the Bee Mushroom, which is probably the best idea since the Ice Flower. The Ice Flowers in this game too. The Fire Flower, of course. You have the Spring Mushroom, which wraps Mario in a spring for some reason. I don't even know why. These power-ups are bizarre and weird. And of course, the only mushroom that you don't use at all throughout the entire game, the Boo Mushroom. It's only used for one level, and you don't use it ever again. Enough said. So those are all the power-ups. And no, Yoshi isn't here in this game. He makes somewhat of an appearance at the beginning of the game, where you choose your icon for your save file. Now, the graphics, they really have changed, especially because everything's like, whoa, everything's like shiny and whatnot. They're all clean and fresh and all that. But then there's some hidden little tidbits that we unfortunately cannot explore. Look up Boundary Break, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. He does fantastic stuff, like taking cameras outside of the boundaries of some games we always wanted to see. Yeah, go check him out. He goes under the name She Says. Alright, now then, bosses, alright? Let's talk about bosses. Now then, Bosses are kind of the norm in this game. This time around, we have Dino Piranha, which is the very first boss that you fight in this game. Then there's Bugadoom, other characters too, like Top Maniac. I'm trying to think of other. You fight Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. is a boss in almost all the boss levels, and you fight Bowser like 3 or 2 times, and then until you fight him for real in the final battle. What else do you fight? Major Burrows, which is like a Rocky Wrench / Monty Mole King. And then you fight Bouldergeist, which is by far the most creative boss fight, because it has this gimmick where you got these black boos. Yeah, black boos. And you try to grab their tongue and you're like, swing them, and then you gotta swing them over to hit Bouldergeist. So that's cool. Wow. That is a lot of boss battles. Well, not as much as the next game. So yeah. For the next games. Those are just to name a few. Those are some of the boss battles you will encounter within this game. The enemies are also pretty cheap too. You can just stomp them out as usual, like in Mario 64. Oh, and also there's another power-up that you can use in water, which is the Koopa Shell. The Koopa Shell comes in 3 colors. Green, which is the normal speed, red, which is even faster, and golden, which doesn't do anything. It's just for show. Wow. And also, big surprise, you can play as Luigi. Finally, you can play as Luigi. Just like, well, there was a rumor going around in Mario 64 saying, hey, you could play as Luigi, but that was not true. Hooray for us, we could finally play as Luigi in Mario Galaxy. But when you beat the game, that is. And yeah. And now for the final boss. Final boss already, you may be asking? Yes, I want to get this finished because I need to do 1 review a day, so I gotta get the boss battle out of the way. Alrighty, so the final boss is Bowser, of course, as usual. And it's kind of like the boss fights from earlier into the game. Like, you know, you fight Bowser once, and then you fight him twice, and then you fight him 3 times in the final boss. Once you beat him, your Luma that was controlling the Star Spin all this time goes like, boo! And all the other Lumas are going with them too, and they're like, Lumas, unite! We're trying to stop the black hole from devouring Peach and Mario. And the final Grand Star. And yes, there's Grand Stars in this game, which you only earn once you beat Bowser or Bowser Jr. And, oh wait! I'm sorry. Wait. I forgot the most important character in this game. The most important character, Rosalina, however you want to pronounce her. Everybody pronounces her different because everybody are just idiots. She is the most important character in this game. I have to mention that. She is the most important character in this game. Even until the end. In fact, the end is pretty sad. Because you hear, like, babies crying in the background, like, ee, ee, ee. Those are actually baby Lumas. That someday they will either become comets, stars, power stars, or anything else. And so Rosalina sends Mario back to his homeland, ending Mario Galaxy. So overall, the game is probably one of the greatest games to ever exist, which is why I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10. For it having another new mechanic, believe it or not, a slew of new power-ups, and somewhat of a suspenseful ending. On to the next part. This is Galaxy 2. Let's go, I guess. So, the story is the exact same story in Mario Galaxy 1. Peach gets captured, Mario has to save him. He goes into space thinking that he's gonna cause trouble, but he's not. But this time it's a little different. The graphics have really sort of improved. They're sort of the same, except there are new power-ups. I'll get to those new power-ups in a bit. But once you complete the first level, you don't get a grand star like in the first game. You get a normal star. And then you travel to this unknown planet inhabited by Lumas. And one new character in particular, a big Luma, big fat purple one, named Lubba. And he's like, we need your help. That's not how he talks, I bet. So he transforms the ship by the power of the stars. He transforms the ship into Mario's face. Like, that's the best plot synopsis of all time. And so Mario goes on a whirlwind adventure through space again, like in the first game. He travels through many different galaxies, and Yoshi is here too, like in Sunshine. Wow, that is fascinating, actually. So yeah. How about the gameplay? If you are familiar with Galaxy 1, you're going to be familiar with Galaxy 2. It's the exact same control scheme. Wii Remote and Nunchuck, nothing else. And you can do 2-player. Not like you think. You have to, in 2-player mode, you gotta play as an orange Luma that follows Mario around. Kinda like Navi in Ocarina of Time, Zelda. That's, not the only good thing about the game. Mario Galaxy 2. There's more to it than you think. Like, of course, new enemies as well. I'm not gonna mention them because I haven't played Mario Galaxy 2 in a while, so there's that. Power up time. Right? Yeah. Let's do it. Alright, so if you're familiar with the power-ups from Mario Galaxy 1, you have the bee mushroom, the boo mushroom, the spring mushroom, the fire flower. The whole shebang is there, except for the ice flower. The ice flower is nowhere to be found, I don't think. And of course, naturally, there's new power-ups too. You got the boulder shroom, which makes Mario turn into a boulder on command when you shake the Wii remote once. And then the cloud flower, which is basically you summon clouds, big cloud platforms with the shake of a Wii remote. And then there's the spin drill. You're wondering, why not a flower or a shroom? Well, it's Mario. You make a power-up out of anything. So the spin drill just lets you go underground in a few certain levels. Not every certain level, but a few certain levels. Okay. Now for the boss battles. I can't name any of them because... I can only name a Pee-wee Piranha, which is basically Petey Piranha's child. Or Dino Piranha's child, I don't know. You fight him in the first world. You fight him in the first galaxy, just like Dino Piranha. And the rest is history. I can't name any of the bosses, but there are up to 8 worlds, I believe. Actually, 6 worlds. Dang it. It is... man. It is 7 worlds, with a bonus world making 8. First one, you got like this blue sky / solar system. Then you got this orange solar system, and then you got the starry sky with the asteroid belt. And then you have, like, this other solar system, and then you got this world filled with a bunch of solar systems, like plastered all over the place. And the music is incredibly ominous in that world. It goes dun, dun, yeah. And then there's like a bunch of other stuff in it too. And then finally, the last world is the black hole world, where it's just a bunch, it's just one giant black hole in the background. And Rosalina is here too, and Luigi, and Peach, and Junior is back, Bowser Jr. With new bosses too. Yes, you fight himself. You fight him a few times, not a lot, but just a few. Sometimes you fight a monster that he summons. Yep. So naturally, I already talked about the graphics. They really haven't improved, but it's the exact same from Galaxy. Alright, now then, we're not going to do the final boss just yet. How about we talk about Yoshi? Yes, so you could only get him in a few worlds, just a few, not every world in the universe. You can summon him in Starship Mario, which is the name of the hub world. It's not the Comet Observatory like in the previous game. And of course, you can shake the Wii and it just shakes its head and go, ooh, and that apparently does something. And he has the tongue, which you can point the Wii remote and then you press B to shoot the tongue at a certain enemy or fruit. And then there's the flutter jump, etc., etc. And yes, Yoshi can use launch stars too. Okay, now then, for the final battle. It's kind of not a spoiler, but also a spoiler at the same time. So it's Bowser, of course, because we all know who Bowser is, right? Yep. But this time he has something new up his sleeve. He can apparently float in the air. So in order to take him out, you have to ground pound these meteors to him, and Yoshi is there too. So naturally, you could use Yoshi as well. And once you beat Bowser, you end Mario Galaxy 2. Personally, you gotta play the game in order to understand the ending. I honestly have not seen the ending in a while. So, yeah. But Peach saves Mario. No, Mario saves Peach. Wait, imagine that. Peach saving Mario? Alternate universe? Oh my lord, that would be awesome, actually. Get on that, Nintendo. You need to make an alternate universe Mario game. So overall, this game is just, it's considered to be one of the greatest games of all time. And I could totally see that, which is why I'm giving it, for the very first time on Brady's Talks, a perfect 10. For it being explorasive, it having 3 new power-ups, not a lot, but still decent amount, and of course, just having a slew of new things to show. Since it's the sequel, it has to do some good stuff. So, perfect 10. First perfect 10 on Brady's Talks, which is incredible. Oh my god. You guys may know that I don't sound, happy about it, like, okay, I am excited that we have the first 10 on Brady's Talks. Alright, so, anyways, on to the next part. To Mario 3D Land. One of my very first 3DS games besides Star Fox 64 and Rayman 3D. Alright. Let's go. So the story here, do I really need to explain the story? It's the exact same story that happened in Mario 64, Galaxy, and Galaxy 2. Mario goes on an adventure, gets Peach, and beats Bowser out. You know, the typical Mario story, except in 3D for Nintendo 3DS only. Alright, now for the gameplay. It's sort of on the lines of, say, it's a new thing. It was a new game in 2011. sadly the exact same year as the Green Lantern movie. But I promise I'll never mention that movie again. It's just, that's seriously a bad film. Even He-Man agrees. Okay. Mario 3D Land controls like a 3DS game should, with the analog stick that was new at the time, the jump buttons, and then you could dash. There's no dive or triple jump, sadly. There is a long jump and a roll, which is new, and then a side flip, you know, whoop-wee, all that. Now, there's power-ups here, too. Unlike Sunshine in 64. Well, Sunshine in 64 had power-ups, but not essential power-ups. So you got the Fire Flower and the Mushroom and the Soup and the Starman and whatnot. And you finally have the triumphant return of the Tanuki Leaf from Mario 3. And a new power-up called the Boomerang Flower. Have they ran out of ideas yet? I'm pretty sure they did. I'm presuming that the Boomerang Flower is actually a precursor to the Hammer Suit, considering that there's Hammer Bros, and then there's Boomerang Bros. So, that is clever. So, yeah. And then there's the enemies. You got, of course, you have Goombas and Koopas, Piranha Plants. You have Goombas with Tanuki tails. You have Hammer Brothers, Boomerang Brothers, I believe. And then you got the triumphant return of Boom Boom. You may think he is a new character. No, sir. He's an old character from Mario 3. And then a new character, Pom Pom, is also a boss as well. And she throws boomerangs. That's it. And as for the other bosses, it's just Bowser over and over. So, you'll get used to that. But sometimes you'll fight on an airship with Pom Pom or Boom Boom. Just want to put that out. And funny thing is, all of these worlds that you'll visit, up to 8 worlds, just like in Galaxy 2, will have somewhat of a color going through it, for it. Okay, so the first world is green, the second world is yellow, the third world is light blue, the fourth one is light green, the fifth one is apricot, the sixth one is white, you know, Periwinkle or whatever. That's technically not a color, but it's a mixture of colors. And then the seventh world is purple. Dark purple. And it goes, the music goes, that's the purple forest. And then the last one is, of course, orange. Orange is reddish orange. And then the final world, which will fight the final boss, is dark red, like maroon, sort of. And the music is incredible for this game. Even for me, it is so freaking incredible. You hear, like, music going... Even the main theme sounds good. I don't think it's in other Mario games, but trust me, it is a great song. Incredible. And also you could play as Luigi in one certain point when you beat the game. So how about the final boss? 5 minutes into this review for the marathon, and I'm already getting to the final boss. It's kind of weird, actually. Alright, so you have Bowser, right? And you fought him many times, especially with him he actually had a Tanuki tail in one of the boss battles, which is convenient. But then again, every one of the other Bowsers is fake. It's just a Goomba and a Tanuki leaf popping out of him. He's like, that makes no sense. Well, it's Mario. Everything makes sense in Mario, right? Like why Mario and Peach can't get married, because Peach is stubborn. You fight him. He's not that hard, actually. Even for a 3DS game, it's kind of easy. Alright, so You finally finish him off. You save Peach, ending Mario 3D Land. But wait, we're not done. We are not done just yet. We still need to talk about the extra worlds that you get to unlock. After you beat the game, a certain pipe will appear in the first world at the beginning of the first world. You go in it. You'll go like you do in the paintings in Mario Odyssey. You'll go, ah, and then magically you'll end up in a new world, which is kind of weird considering that every one of the extra worlds is the exact same world with weirder music and different colors. This time around, instead of the first world being green, the first world is emerald green. This time, instead of the second world being yellow, it's goldish, golden or something like that. The third world is navy blue instead of light blue. The fourth world is darkish green. I don't know. It's some sort of puke green. I don't know. Fifth one is brown, not apricot, straight up brown. Sixth world is silver almost. And the seventh world is pink instead of purple. And then the final world is the super special world. It's yellow, just like the second world in the main course game. You don't fight Bowser in the final extra world, thankfully. So yeah, there's that. And then there's this final farewell level where it's like, thank you for playing. And then it spells out thank you in one of the core mechanics of the game. By the way, you're welcome for playing that game, Mario. Forgot to mention that. So, in conclusion, overall, Mario 3D Land is such an interesting little game that really should have been packed with the 3DS. Oh wait, I forgot about one more power-up, the propeller box. I had to mention that because it says so on the back of the box. So, yeah, classic Mario action with a modern twist is why I'm giving this game an 8 out of 10. For it being not a 3DS launch title, but one of the 3DS games that came out a few weeks after, or a few days after the initial launch of the 3DS. For it having incredible power-up selection, not unlike Galaxy and Galaxy 2, still a good power-up selection, and actually having different colored worlds according to the locations that you'll visit, and extra worlds to boot as well, and Luigi is playable as well. On to the next part. Let's talk about Mario 3D World. And it says here, Family Game of the Year, 2013. Yeah, I agree. It is, without a doubt, one of my most favorite Wii U games ever created. Because, you know the old saying, 4 is a party? This game just takes it to a whole nother level. And trust me when I say that. That's literally what it means. Alright, now, let's start it. Shall we? So the story to Mario 3D World, you may think it's the typical Mario formula. But Peach is not captured. Peach, first we must address the elephant in the room, the playable characters. We must address the fact of there being 5 playable characters, 4 characters that you start out with. There's Mario, who's a balanced character. Yeah, it says on the back of the box that he controls easily. Luigi, who can jump high, like in Mario 2, or Doki Doki Panic. Peach, who can float, once again, like in Mario 2, or Doki Doki Panic. And, of course, Toad, who can run fast, apparently. And that's it. Okay, so, the story is Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Blue Toad. This kind of makes sense, considering that Blue Toad was the playable character in Mario 2. This is straight up Mario 2 on friggin' steroids. And it's kind of a mixture of the Blue Toad from Mario U and the blue toad from Mario 2. Yeah. So Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad are walking around, and then they stumble upon this thing called the clear pipe. And so Mario and Luigi, with their true plumber fashion, they have to fix it. And so they fix it. They fix it, and then a lot of things pop out. Pow blocks, fire flowers, a few of the new power-ups that we'll be able to talk about, and of course, this thing called Sprixie, which is from the Sprixie Kingdom, which is where this game takes place. Yeah. So, what happens? She tells the story that Bowser is capturing all the Sprixies. And what does Bowser do? He's like, I'm gonna take the green Sprixie and take her to my castle. And so Peach, being the dumb princess that she is, she jumps into the clear pipe. And so does Mario and Toad and Luigi. Luigi being the last one. Poor Luigi. So they get thrown into the Sprixie Kingdom. And so it's up to you to save the day and collect all the Sprixies. That's the entire story. Good luck. So, how many Sprixies are there? Well, there are about 8 or 7, I believe. I think it's 7. So there's one that's green, one that's yellow, one that's blue, one that's apricot, one that's purple, one that's cyan blue, and one that's red. It kind of follows the same order of the color scheme of some of the worlds that you get to visit in Mario 3D Land. No wonder it's called 3D World. It's a sequel to 3D Land. By the way, comment if you guys want this game to be released on Switch, because I really do. But for now, we just have it on the Wii U. That's the only way we could play it, sadly. So, like I said, you can play as 4 characters of your choosing. And you can play with up to 4 players and 4 different controls. You got the Wii remote sideways, which is really, really dumb. I mean, it's a 3D moving game. D-pads are meant for 2D games only. A Wii remote and nunchuck, the Pro controller, the Wii remote plus the classic controller Pro, and the gamepad. Those are all the controls. 4 controls for 4 different players. Or you could just choose whatever you want to play with. I'm stuck playing with the gamepad, sadly. Whenever I boot up the game. And yes, you can play as any of the 4 characters. You don't have to just play as Mario. The first person doesn't have to play as Mario. He can play as whoever they want. Making it sort of like Mario Party, because nobody picks Mario in Mario Party, sadly. I'm the one who makes him take it for the team. So, how about the gameplay? It is the most simplistic of the Wii U games I've ever seen. Sure, it's got some similarities to Mario 3D Land, but now you can do a spin jump like in Mario Sunshine. You see some elements from Mario Sunshine in this game. There's a lot of different things from past 3D Mario games. Is there the dive and the triple jump? Sadly, no. There's the roll and the long jump and the side jump. That's it. Now for the new power-ups. There are about 2 or 3 new power-ups. Actually, there's a lot. 4, I believe. So you got 1. Let's just go for the miscellaneous ones first. You got the one that turns you into a Goomba. Well, a Goomba helmet. Like, you put it on and Goombas won't notice you. And then you have the cannon box, which is a precursor to the propeller box. Kind of. Yeah, the cannon box. And then you got the double cherry, which multiplies you by many different ways, up to like, I don't know, probably 6 or 8. And then finally, the main selling point of this game, the cat Mario, the cat suit. Yeah, the cat suit. it is kind of silly. It's kind of silly to think that Mario would go through all these different animals and see which one does good for him, and all of them have done something well, for better or for worse. So naturally, let's move on to the graphics. The graphics are actually the cleanest Wii U game graphics I've seen besides Smash 4 and Star Fox Zero, even though Star Fox Zero stinks. It's a terrible game. This is the cleanest Wii U game I've ever seen in my life. Trust me, it's wonderful. Even though we had stuff like Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze and Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, but yeah, and Smash, but other than that, this was the cleanest Wii U game right here that I've ever seen in my entire life. Alright, how about the boss battles? So, you think that you'd fight Bowser multiple times, but that is not true. You fight multiple boss battles, like in New Super Mario Bros. For DS, and Mario Sunshine, and, of course, Mario Galaxy. You fight Bowser in the first world with his Cadillac, I believe. He's got, like, this new car or something. That is true fashion. And then you get to fight other characters, too. Like, Boom Boom and Pom Pom are back, of course. And then there's this other one where he's, like... You fight him in, like, the, purple world. And then there's this big boulder monster that you get to fight in the orange world, I believe. I don't know. But, yeah. That's the synopsis for these boss battles. And, of course, a special boss battle at the very end. How about we get to that special boss battle? Yeah, sure, but let's talk about these things called the mystery houses. Mystery houses can range from easy to insanely bonkers hard. Especially the last mystery house. Oh my god, have you never played the last mystery house on Mario 3D World? Jesus Christ, thank you. How about the final boss? So, you get to the final world, which is Bowser's Carnival Land, surprisingly, and you get to the top of the super large tower, and then Bowser fuses himself with a Super Bell, which is what the power for the cat suit is called. And then he turns into Meowser. Best title for a villain ever. And then he's climbing up the tower while you climb up the tower as well, and of course the true Mario fashion. And to find that that he uses the double cherry too. Have you ever tried to fuse Mario power-ups? Bam! You get double Meowser, or triple Meowser, or quadruple Meowser. Wow! Yowzers. So of course there's a POW block up on top of the tower. So you gotta hit it multiple times, and Meowser's dead. Or Bowser is dead. You get the Sprixies back, ending Mario 3D World. But that's not it. You gotta go through another set of worlds, which is the special worlds, believe it or not. Of course, leading to you unlocking Rosalina, who is the 5th playable character, who can use the Star Spin like Mario could in Mario Galaxy. But once you get to the final special world, there is this level called, I'm not sure if most of you are familiar with this, but I bet you aren't. There's this level in the final super world called Champion Road, and people have been doing that level for quite some time, and from what I've seen, it's incredibly difficult. It's like the hardest final farewell stage in a Mario game. But luckily for us, we won't have to see something as hard as like that again. Right? Right? Alright, so overall, this is probably my favorite Wii U game of all time. Probably. Which is why I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10. Almost perfect. For it having incredible graphics, new power-ups to boot, and of course, multiple playable characters. Now for the last part. You may remember way back in 2019, I did a review of the popular Nintendo Switch game releasing about 2 years ago, or 3 years ago now. Super Mario Odyssey. And so, since it's the grand tradition of Mario 3D-a-thon, 3D Mariothon, we gotta do it again. We gotta give my nowadays opinion on this. So, let's just start with the beginning. So the story, of course, if you are familiar with Odyssey, is that Peach gets captured and Bowser tries to marry her. And so Mario must go on a whirlwinding adventure with his buddy Cappy, who apparently speaks gibberish. Everyone speaks gibberish in this game for some reason. I have no clue why, but they just wanted to rush the game. So, how about the controls? The controls are incredible. Even for something like the Pro Controller, or just a simple Joy-Con, or if you sadly don't have a Pro Controller, you could use this with the Joy-Cons. It's pretty sad that you don't have a Pro Controller. I'm not trying to insult you guys, but if you don't have a Pro Controller, that's fine. But the controls are so freaking awesome. They are clean as can be, clear as day, clean as day, and just so fun to use. Even nowadays, the controls are incredible. Try playing with the GameCube controller, though. You'll fail. But how about the graphics? The graphics are certainly a big step up from 3D World and Galaxy, but then again, I still think 3D World is the cleanest of the bunch, considering 3D World is one of my favorite video games of all time. There are many worlds to explore. You, of course, have the Cap Kingdom, which is where you start out, the Cascade Kingdom, the Sand Kingdom, and then you have the choice to go to either the Lake Kingdom or the Wooded Kingdom. And then you go straight to the Lost Kingdom. Actually, no, you go to the Cloud Kingdom, and then you fight Bowser for one time, and then you go to the Lost Kingdom because your Odyssey broke down. And that's the name of the ship, the Odyssey. And yeah. And it's shaped like a hat. That's kind of clever, considering Cappy is also a cap. There are no power-ups this time. There's only one power-up, and that's Cappy, obviously, which you can capture, capture, very funny, or possess, as everybody kept calling it when it came out. Everyone kept calling it possess, not capture. Reviewers don't have points. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Cappy is your only power-up. So, on with the other worlds. You got the Lost Kingdom, you got the Metro Kingdom, you got the Luncheon Kingdom, and of course, you got Bowser Kingdom, and Snow Kingdom, the, Seaside Kingdom, and then the Moon Kingdom, and then the Dark Side, and then the Darker Side of the Moon. Those are all the worlds. And, of course, the main theme of this game, Jump Up Superstar. That title makes no sense. The title for that song makes absolutely no sense. Why not call it the other song, Crouch Down, You're a Star? Something like that. That's such a stupid title. But it's being sung by Mario's old fiance, Mayor Pauline. And she looks pretty good in this game, even with the hat. Even if she's not looking like her traditional style, like in the old Mario vs. Donkey Kong games. So yeah. Now let's get to the final battle. If you are not familiar with it, Mario gets gets on his dapper tuxedo and his cap, his white top hat, and heads off to Honeyloon Ridge and Forever After Hill. Is this trying to point fun at Shrek Forever After? I don't know. So Mario goes into the wedding hall, and then he's like, "Give her back a peach right now." And so Bowser's like, "No, you're not getting Peach." So he goes down underground to fight Mario. You fight him for the second time. So yeah. He's not hard. He's kind of hard, but not all the way hard. You just gotta take him out with his hat. There's boxing gloves on his hat, and then you gotta punch him multiple times. He will block your attacks and do a spin attack as well. But after you beat him up, his clothes gets ripped off. That's kind of weird. And then you finally, after many years, you get to play as Bowser in a main core Mario game. We're not talking about Mario Party with, Bowser mode. I'm talking full-fledged play as Bowser in a core game. I mean, sure, there's been, mods and Mario Wii and Mario U and whatnot, but this is the first time we've ever been to officially play him in a Mario game. And then, probably the most epic music starts playing. It's called Break Free, Lead the Way. Once again, being sung by Pauline. So, what happens? Bowser and Peach and Mario, that has captured Bowser, is trying to get inside the electric orb thing. And it's a capture within a capture. Captureception? No, Captureception? I'm sorry. So, what happens? Mario finally is like, "Shall we have this dance?" And then Bowser's like, "No, you are not gonna marry her. I'm gonna marry her. Come on, Peach. Let's have a retry, a remarriage, whatever." And he's like, "No, I want to marry her. I want to marry her. I want to marry her." Until Peach finally snaps, and she's like, "Enough!" She literally curbed both of them. Now that is just dumb. I think that's the worst thing that Peach has ever done. That shows that Peach has, an attitude or some crap like that. One thing's for sure. In the end, they all live happily ever after. Like Shrek. I said that in the previous video, which was my previous Odyssey review. So overall, I think this game is great. Not perfect in any way, but it's perfectly great. So I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I may have given it a 9 out of 10 on the original review, but that's fine. So I give this a 9 out of 10 for it being a return to form, while also being its own creation, and also having Cappy as your main mechanic, and just having incredible amounts of costumes, which are new, in worlds to explore. It's too explorative to be even called a Mario game. So anyways, that's it for the Mario Marathon. So, see you guys soon. Finally get to say this. Sayonara.